Hi everybody, my name is Kunle Pelemo. You can call me KP. I'm asking you to join me every Friday 5:30 p.m. GMT on the MHAASP show right here on MZ Radio London. It's a show where we talk about mental health and suicide prevention. Set a reminder for that. And just before I go, I want to let you know I care about your mental health. And you know what? Stick around right here on this station. Don't go nowhere. Wow, good evening, good morning, good afternoon. I have to complete all the greetings. So, okay, let me just simply say good day wherever you are listening to us. Yes, we're global, so that's why we have to do that. Do it that way. So good to have you join me on another edition of your show, the MHAASP show. And my name is Kunle Pelemo. You can call me KP. And remember, we're reaching you live on MZ Radio London and AP Radio UK. The MHAASP show is a show where we talk about mental health and suicide prevention. And it's been wonderful having you join us every week to do that. And we appreciate you. And you can as well be ambassador of our stations to other people, so that we can serve them well, all together. So tell your friends, tell your family to join in listening to MZ Radio London, Station on the Hill, and AP Radio UK, Station with Distinction. I tell you, no other station does it better than the two stations that I just mentioned. Okay, yeah, here we are again. What are we going to talk on the show today? Today, I'm going to talk on what I call the simple house of help in mental health. The simple house of help in mental health. And the house in this respect is HOW. So we're talking about how. So that's how to help when it comes to mental health. Because the truth is, where we all live in is what I call our house. And by that, I don't mean the house that we build. So I mean the HOW, our house. So how you do things, that's definitely going to determine a lot about you. That's definitely going to differentiate between one person and the other. That's why I say that we all live in our house. How you do things goes a long way to tell the success of that particular thing. You might, for example, maybe in one profession or the other, there are so many people who are um, definitely in that kind of profession. But what's going to separate you from the rest is how you do things. As a matter of fact, the house you're living in, there are different houses. So what separates one house from the other is how the house is built. So what separates the house that is well built is also how, the people who are living in the house conduct themselves. So you might get home, and if it's a girl, definitely, you wouldn't like such a thing. So it takes how to transform a house into a home. So, and then that's why I feel it is necessary for us to discuss the simple house of help in mental health. As a matter of fact, you know that you have some people who are willing to help, but somehow they might not know how to do that. And those who know how to might not take the right step towards doing it. So all those things are very important in getting this required or the desirable result when it comes to offering mental health help for people, so that together we can create a very healthy society mentally. So, and the essence of this is to, know how to start a conversation, you know, by showing empathy, and also help to evaluate the mental state of people just by asking, some questions, and how to encourage them to ask for help or to seek professional help. So that is what we are talking about on the show today. And on that note, I'm going to talk on some important questions to ask when it comes to this particular topic. Some important questions to ask. Number one, you have to ask some question that has to do with the feeling of that particular person. When you talk about um how are you feeling, most people might tell you they are feeling good or so. That might be the necessary, the usual answer, the answer by default that you get from people. But by the time you are getting so specific a little bit, and you make it maybe an open-ended question, that might help you in determining the correct state of that particular person. For example, question number one that you could ask, you might ask, is there anything that bothers you currently? Is there anything that bothers you currently? You know, and the person might either say yes or no. So that would determine whether there will be follow up questions in that regard. Is there anything that bothers you currently? So, with that kind of question, you're going to know whether the person is anxious about one thing, if something bothers him, whether the person is having nightmares about a particular thing, whether the person has some panicking about one issue or the other. So if something is bothering you, definitely it's going to impact your general well-being, your mental health inclusive, because it has to do with your feelings, it has to do with your emotions, and it has to do with how you relate with people. So getting specific with that kind of question, asking people, so when you see someone, just that to show that you care, and then you want to also know, and then you want to also help that person, you can ask, is there anything that bothers you currently? So if they say yes or no, that would determine what next you are going to do, or whether there will be a follow-up question, as I said earlier on. Then another thing is you asking about the physical health of that person as a result of their activities. So that's when you get specific as well. If you want to ask about people, then you ask them how is work. Normally people would tell you, well, work is good, work is fine. So those are the normal questions we ask, that we have programmed a default answer for. How are you? Fine. How do you do? How do you do? Fine. How is work? Work is fine. Work is going on. So everybody seem to have a kind of default answer for such questions. But if you go specific and then um, be a little bit professional about that, so that's the essence of this particular edition of the show, then you might get a better answer that will lead you to a way of helping such a person. So, question number two that you can ask, do you feel stressed as a result of your daily activities? Do you feel stressed as a result of your daily activities? So, that will definitely provide a more specific answer as to the mental health status of that particular person in terms of stress. And that will now know, point us further whether you're going to engage in stress management or tell that person to seek for professional help. As a matter of fact, stress is, as a result of one particular strain in our body that our body is responding to. And it's been known to appear in three particular places in our body. That is in our face, in our neck, and on our shoulder. So that's why you see some people when they are stressed, it shows on their faces. I mean, if someone is subjected to a particular stress level for a long period of time, then you see it in their face, perpetually. And that's why some people look older than their age or something like that, maybe as a result of stress. So stress appears on faces, it appears on your shoulder. That's why some people, it seems that there's a heavy burden on your shoulder. So that might be as a result of stress. And then on the neck of people. So it seems there's a heavy load on your head, and then the neck is suffering that. So when you ask people that kind of question, it will let you know the kind of activities they do that is causing that stress and how to manage that particular activity well. And that will employ the stress management techniques that you can introduce that person to. And if you don't know that, then that means you might now refer that person to a professional. The essence of asking to get the particular answer is to help that person come up with a direct answer instead of say how is work, or they would tell work is fine. But when you get more specific, then that's a way of helping that particular person. That's why we call the topic on the simple house of help in in mental health. The next question is: have you noticed a change in your sleeping and eating habit as a result of your current situation? Have you noticed a change in your sleeping and eating habit as a result of your current situation? I mean, that's very obvious. Now, maybe as a result of that, what that person is going through, it has affected his sleeping habit or his sleep regime or his eating habits. Some people have lost appetite because of, their current situation, because of what they are going through, because it's affecting them emotionally or psychologically. So by the time you ask this specific question, then you will know. Okay, if he says that, I no longer sleep well, I no longer have a long hours of sleep, or the sleeping pattern has changed, or such person has nightmares, that there is definitely a signal that that person has the person needs help when it comes to his or mental health. So these are some of the questions you need to ask. We've spoken about 3 questions already. When we come back from this break, we will talk more on that. This is still the MHAASP show with KP on MZ Radio London and AP Radio UK. I'm going to take a breather right now. You know what we do? We play you a song, and then we'll come back. Then we round off the show. The song of my brother and friend Ophios, and this one is titled Anywhere. Stick around. Don't go nowhere. We'll be back shortly.
Yeah, whole feels. All 3 beats. I can't live without you. I can't do without you. Bí mo ṣe ń lọ máa bá mi lọ. Bí mo ṣe ń lọ máa bá mi lọ. Bí mo ṣe ń lọ máa bá mi lọ. Bí mo ṣe ń lọ máa. Anywhere I go, 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 please follow me, go. Hey. Anywhere I go, 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 don't leave me alone, my love. Anywhere I go, 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 please follow me, go. Hey. Anywhere I go, 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 don't leave me alone, my love. Anywhere I go, 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 please follow me, go. Hey. Anywhere I go, 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 don't leave me alone, my love. Anywhere I go, mama pariwo, I let the world know you. Mama like go because you came and set me free. I'm free indeed, on solid rock, that's where I'm standing. If no be for your word in my life, what would I've been saying right now? Now no more struggling, no more hustling, no more wrestling, new mentality. I can't live without you. Oh, hey. I can't do without you. Yeah, I cannot breathe without you, Lord. Oh, hey. I can't go without your word. Hey. Anywhere I go, 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 please follow me, go. Please follow me, go. Anywhere I go, 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 don't leave me alone. Anywhere I go, 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 please follow me, go. Anywhere I go, 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 don't leave me alone, my love. I can't live without you. Oh, hey. I can't do without you. Hey, I cannot breathe without you, Lord. Oh, hey.
Home of great music, MZ Radio London.
Yes, home of great music, MZ Radio London. And this is the MHAASP show, and KP is in the building. And we are live on MZ Radio London and AP Radio UK. And today I've been speaking on the simple house of help in mental health. I'm talking about some questions that you can ask in order to help somebody, in order to also know whether someone is having mental health issue. As a matter of fact, let me simply say, in order to know the mental health status of a particular individual. That is what we are talking on the show today. And that's why you need to stick around to MZ Radio London and AP Radio UK anytime. We've got great programs lined up for you. And then we have wonderful songs, soul lifting songs that we play on the station. Okay. We've spoken about three questions, and the number four might be a relationship related question. And because, as a matter of fact, you know that somehow our relationship affect our lives in one way or the other, either friend or in intimate relationship. I mean, so it is important to ask some specific question as well, instead of say how is your wife, or how are your friends, or somehow like that. If you ask a question as, do you feel supported by people around you? Do you feel supported by people around you? The reason is because the support you get from people around you goes a long way. And the essence of having that question is also to become one of the support that person is having, one of the support systems the person is having. So that would definitely give a question, I mean, an answer that will go along with that question. Do you feel supported by people around you? People around you could be your wife, could be your kids, could be your husband, could be your friends, and could be your colleagues at workplace. So that is very important to know. I mean, and this period now, and not only this period, let me just say, I mean, there are conversations going on in a kind of total orientation of people in the workplace, how important mental health is, so how important it is for employees to get support in the workplace as regards their mental health. The support system is key. So asking people whether they feel supported by people around them, whether at home, whether in their workplaces, is also important in order to know the mental health status of that particular person. That's relationship related question. Number five, you might ask question about experience of that person. You know, our experience have a way of shaping us if care is not taken. You know, people who live in the past, maybe past guilt, past depression, past trauma or whatever, you know, it has a way of creating an effect over their present life. So somehow it's good to have, I mean, to ask a question in that line. So if you ask a question such as, have you experienced or witnessed any event that got you traumatized lately? Have you experienced or witnessed any event that got you traumatized lately? So that would let you know how a past experience is having an effect on that person. So if that person is experiencing trauma, then that means such a person needs help, you know. And once that is known, you know what to do next to let that person ask for help. So that is it. Another question might be related to personal life satisfaction or purpose, fulfillment, or the rest. So you might ask a question such as, do you recently feel loss of interest in things you normally love to do? Do you recently feel loss of interest in things you normally love to do? So there are a point in time, maybe someone who used to do a particular thing, or you used to get interested in a particular stuff, and then is just suddenly lost interest in that thing. I mean, that is a signal, that is a pointer to something. So that kind of a question will definitely bring out an answer that will make you know the mental health status of that person as per a satisfaction of life. Some people are working and you don't know that they have left the job long time ago. But they're just going to work and coming back. They're resuming and then they're clocking in, clocking out. And you don't even bother to ask them whether they are interested in that job. Then that's why a whole lot of people are not productive at work, because they have left a long time ago. The body, or you're just seeing a shadow coming to work, signing in, collecting salary, and all the rest. But somehow there is a loss of interest in that job. And once there's a lot of loss of interest, there will definitely be a decline in the productivity level of that person, come what may. And that's why I do say that your mental health and productivity, they are best of friends. So that's why you need to work on the two of them. And one more question before we go: that what is your perspective about seeking professional help? What is your perspective about seeking professional help? Now, the essence of this question is to know how that person feels, or how open that person is to seeking help. It is one thing to have a problem, it is another to be aware of that problem. And then one more, it's something totally different now to be willing to be helped, or to be willing to seek help in that respect. So, asking the perspective of a person about seeking mental help will definitely make us understand how open that person is to seeking help. And then you can then orientate, or I mean, you can give orientation to that person in like manner, so that you make that person understand that asking for help, like we normally say on this show, is not a sign of weakness. So these are the questions that you can ask in order to help someone's mental health, so that each and every one of us in the community or in our own locality will become a support system. You support me, I support you, so that we will have a mentally healthy society at large. Ooh, how time flies. Check your time. Well, I mean, it's getting to that point in time that we have to round off the show. But like I always say, the good news is just blink and then it's going to be Friday again. And we'll be here on the show and give you another wonderful package of the show. But before then, you know what I normally tell you: stick around to this station, MZ Radio London, AP Radio UK, and you will never regret you did. A special thanks to my producer, Mr. Soji Harmony on MZ Radio London. You've been a wonderful person. God bless you, real good, bro. And to my very good friend and brother on AP Radio UK, O Fields, the man with the magical voice. Thank you very much, brother. God bless you, real good as well. Till next week, that I will come your way. I'm not going to leave you without playing you a song. It's a song by a sister and a friend as well, who is making us proud. Her name is Joy Saliu, and the song is titled Everything. But before then, let me tell you, stay mentally healthy, because we care for your mental health. Goodbye. See you next week.
I've searched all over, but I know fit find one person when for love.